It's 5 o'clock Mountain Time. That means it's time for Tom and Shane on politics. And Shane's having a little problem getting in, so we'll persevere until he gets here. But I want to remind everybody. Thanks so much to the recent subscribers that we've gotten. We're just 6 subscribers short of 500 subscribers. So we appreciate all of you folks that have subscribed recently. We really appreciate that very much. Thank you so much. And if you're just joining us for the first time, why not subscribe? Ring the notification bell. You'll always be notified when we're on, and like us because Facebook likes that kind of stuff. So, well, as I said, we've got Donald Trump on the on the dole, I guess I would say. He is up for grabs, and he went to court today. And there are 34 charges against Donald Trump. 34. Wow. Which means the jury is going to say, how do you find on number 1? How do you find on number 2? So I guess Alvin Bragg, the district attorney of Manhattan, has decided that if Trump is guilty, then well, that's where we're going to be. So. Shane, are you by any chance? I can't hear you, can't see you. All right, I hear you banging, but I don't see you. So, but anyway, 34 charges come down to a couple of things. One is the payment of Stormy Daniels and Kara McDougal, and the other possibilities, of course, are what's happening with this business reporting is what Bragg thinks he has on the president. That somehow how this was reported as some kind of a campaign situation or donation, and how it was distributed through the campaign. And I think that's what Bragg is probably going after. Although he didn't say in his press conference today, he did not say how this was going to play out. He didn't give the actual charges. He gave a couple of things, but didn't give any charges of any kind. So, Shane, can you hear me at all? I guess not. All right. Well, he's having an issue up there getting in today, so we apologize for that. We usually like to have both of us here, but if we can't, we can't. So anyway, what we think happened? Apparently, Trump had Michael Cohen pay Stormy Daniels, then Trump paid Cohen. And it's a question of how did Cohen handle that money? If he treated it as income, then if there's any tax evasion or any tax problems, then that's on Cohen, not on Trump. So that's one of the issues. The other one is that to prove this, there has to be a demonstration of another crime. In other words, if you falsified records to contribute to another crime, and that, of course, is a real issue because they're talking about releasing this thing of Stormy Daniels right before the election to maybe if the public had known that, they would have responded by not voting for Trump. Well, let's go back to 2016 on October 7th, 1 month before the presidential election, when the Washington Post published a video and accompanying article about then President Trump. Remember the Access Hollywood report. And if that wasn't something, that was something that happened 11 years ago. So that's where, if that didn't influence the election, I'm not sure what would. If you remember, Trump held a rally in Wisconsin, and then the governor wouldn't appear with him. The Secretary of State, or not Secretary of State, the majority leader of the House, Ryan, wouldn't appear with him. Nobody would campaign with him after this Access Hollywood came out. And if that wasn't going to influence the the relations of the voter, boy, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what would. So I don't know. Shane's still trying to get in. Are you there, Shane? Can I hear you? Nope, can't hear you. All right. Well, we'll keep on rocking and rolling then. So let's see. The other thing I wanted to mention regarding that, there's a couple of things that are really, really kind of interesting going on here. One is the newest member of the Trump campaign. That would be Todd Blanche. And Blanche is a former federal prosecutor, and he left his law firm, the oldest law firm in New York. That's Cadwalder, Wickersham, and Taft. And he was a partner there for 5 years, and he bailed out of that law firm to defend Trump. And as you can imagine, with Trump's reputation, it may be difficult to find good attorneys that want to represent him. So, but anyway, before he went to the New York law firm, he served as a former assistant U.S. attorney for the Southern District of New York for 9 years. So that was quite a stint there. He prosecuted or was involved, I guess, in white-collar cases, investigating and prosecuting tax fraud, money laundering, Medicaid, federal programs, fraud, bank and wire frauds, racketeering, homicides, armed robberies, firearms, and narcotics offenses. So he's got quite a record on this. So we'll see. We'll see how he plays out. Shane's still trying to get in. Can I hear you at least? All right. Can't hear you. All right. So, all right. Well, we'll keep on going then because some other things I want to bring up before we get to some of the other things we want to talk about here. The other thing is the judge. The judge in this case is Judge Juan Martian, I guess it is. And his daughter worked for Vice President Kamala Harris' 2020 presidential campaign, deepening the alleged bias against him. When the daughter concluded her work with Harris's campaign, she moved on to the same role at some place called Authentic, which is a digital strategies firm for progressives. And then Marchant also sentenced Trump's Alan Weisenberg to prison, presided over the Trump Organization tax fraud trial, which cost the Trump campaign or Trump Organization. I'll get it in a minute. The Trump Organization, $1.5 million, and he also was overseeing former advisor Steve Bannon's criminal fraud case. So there's a lot of folks in here that their credibility to even be on this trial is extremely suspect. So that's where we are here now. In the case today, there was no gag order. Trump continued to. There's no gag order, but Trump was cautioned not to post anything on social media that would incite civil unrest. That's supposed to be incite, but hey, I can't spell. I'm old. So we're going to incite civil unrest. Shane, can you hear me possibly? All right. Let's see. Well, the other thing that is going to happen here that's going to take a while for this to play out, as you might imagine, because we're going to have a trial in January of 2024. This is going to be, wow, this is going to be a bad situation. Yeah, Shane says he can hear me, but no camera. I can't hear him. So I'm not sure. His audio and video must not be working because he can hear me, but I can't hear him, and he's got no camera today. So we apologize for that. It sometimes happens, it's electronics. So that's the way it works. So this thing is going to go on forever. Now, if they have a trial in January, that's going to be Iowa and New Hampshire and the beginning of this 2024 campaign. So, they can't restrict him from going out and campaigning, unless I don't see how they could possibly do that. I don't see how they can gag order him, that not to talk about what's going on in his campaign and what situation he's in. Probably sometime in August, the defense will make their motions to dismiss, change of venue, anything else they can think of to derail this, recuse the judge, which I think they would have a strong case for it, particularly with the daughter working for Governor Harris. So that's certainly not gonna fly. So January of 2024, and defense pretrial motions may happen in August. So we'll see what they bring to the table as to what defense situation they're going to offer. So we'll see. So worst case scenario or best case scenario, depending on your politics, what if Trump is convicted of a crime and sent to prison? Well, guess what? He'll have Secret Service protection from the MS-13 folks in there. I guess if he's in prison, you get Secret Service protection if you're a president of the United States. So we're happy to have that for our presidents, current and past presidents. And he could certainly run for office and be elected if he's in prison. He could serve as the president of the United States in prison, because the only qualifications for president is you got to be 35 years of age, you got to be a natural born citizen, you have to live in the United States for 14 consecutive months. And that's all there is in the Constitution. Doesn't say anything about jailed or anything else, so there's no thing in the Constitution that says he couldn't run. And I want to see the photo ops of him signing things in his orange jumpsuit. So maybe they'll let him dress up for those things. So, but it'll be really, really interesting to see what happens if he is elected. Well, you're entered. I got you here. Can you hear me? Can I hear you?
I can hear you.
Okay, good. Well, you can comment on this. I can't see you, but you can comment.
Well, my gosh, I'm halfway there.
Yeah, we'll go for it.
I can keep going. I'm on board. Go.
Okay. Well, I was going to get your opinion on some of these things.
I hope so.
What did you see today that transpired that hit home with you?
Well, I was just overwhelmed by the fact that a prosecutor can present charges, arrest somebody, and then, he sealed the indictment. And when it's opened, there's no crime. There's no admitted crime in the indictment. And his response is, I don't need to do that. So now you can arrest people in your country without even charging them with a crime. I guess that's what they did on January 6th. So that had something to do with the Patriot. I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever this is, it's just strange.
Well, he says there's 34 crimes. Each one is tied to the next one. It all deals with these checks and how they were distributed and who to, and how the records of those money was kept. That's what his case is, that he thinks it's some kind of a campaign, hidden funds and inappropriately reporting them.
Well, that's what he's claiming, but he doesn't cite that as the charge. He references it.
Yeah.
But in the indictment, he doesn't cite it as that's the law he broke. So again, I'm just astounded that we're watching this unfold. And originally, the judge wanted to set the court date for January 2nd, and his lawyers requested, early that he move it up. So we moved it up to December 3rd, but they'll enjoin this to an appeal right away, because you can't indict somebody and not. I mean, I mean, basic
Mhm.
law,
Yeah.
common law. You have to serve a warrant with a charge.
Yeah. Well, they indicted him, and they've charged him with 34 charges to do with these so-called things. And uh, I apparently they're going to have some kind of a thing in August where the defense is going to come up and present, change of venue or recuse the judge. I don't know why I have a problem with that word, but or a change, whatever evidence they have to get this thing just dismissed summarily.
Summarily, yes.
Yeah, I can't speak today. I shouldn't even be on. I don't know what's going on.
That's okay. They can see you, but not me. So,
yeah, well, that's the bad part. You're better looking than I am.
Oh,
so.
no, I'm not. I'll just try and speak clearly.
Okay,
look,
good.
What we know, this is a pile of shift.
Mhm.
It's shift thrown on the wall.
Yeah.
It's shift all over the place, and it's meant to delay, the whole Republican process for the presidential election, particularly with Biden. Apparently now, the rumor is, or someone has said, he's not going to declare till August. That only tells me that there's a closet of people that are going to jump on the train to challenge him.
Yeah.
So the longer he puts it off, the worse his situation is with his own party. This to me is just one of these issues where Americans look at this and the meaning of what they understand common law in their country to be is not being presented. Certainly not in a legal way.
Well, not yet. At least we don't have a trial going on yet. So, we've got that situation going on with it. But the other thing is that, and it's been brought up a lot on TV, Bragg said before he was elected, this is what I'm going to run on. And, so did that other DA from the Southern District, the black gal, I can't remember her name.
Yeah, the state attorney general.
Yeah, state attorney general, yeah. She was going to go after him too, and that was their campaign promise. One speculation as to why Bragg brought this up when two other groups decided it wasn't worth prosecuting. It's the Comey Hillary Clinton deal. This isn't worth going after. Apparently, Bragg's staff said they would quit en masse if he didn't pursue this. So I don't know if that's correct or not, but that's the rumor floating out around the news tables. So if that's the case, he's between a rock and a hard place. He can say, okay, I brought it, and there was nothing there.
Well, the rock and hard place applies both ways. I just see Trump winning with this. And the sad rock and hard place is your justice system is being abused by some party wonks on the woke side of the rock. It's sad to see. The commentators on all the channels, not just Fox, but I watched CNN, MSNBC. Yeah, all of them are saying the same thing.
Yeah,
there's a warrant, but there's no charge of a law he's broken.
Well, there's no charge that says what he did led to another crime, and that's what they kind of have to prove. And he didn't say what that other crime was. So
right, it's a murder without a body. So where do you stand as a lawyer defending Trump when the judge is so biased that he's not going to listen to anything? And the view, quite honestly, is how the judge shouldn't even be accepting the warrant they gave him. You should look at them and say, Mr. Prosecutor, where's the crime?
Yeah. Well, I think the other thing Bragg is concentrating on, he sued and won against the Trump organization for $1.6 million. And Bannon and Weisenberg, he was involved in all three of those trials. And I think maybe that gave Bragg ammunition to If I can get those three done, maybe I can get this one done. I'll fulfill my campaign promise of putting Trump in jail, or at least finding him. And I don't know if he's going to do any jail time for any of this, unless they really do prove it's a felony of some kind. But that's a real stretch with what we know right now.
But everything in the warrant is a misdemeanor. I mean, all these
34 charges.
They're all misdemeanors.
Well, not according to Bragg.
But but clearly he's not according to any knowledge at all.
Well, that's what I say. I think he thinks he's in a friendly venue. I think he's on his home court. He thinks the judge will side with him on any objections or any of the other things that will come up in trial that will favor him, based on the Trump organization win, the Bannon win, and the Weisenberg win. So I think he feels he's on pretty solid ground here, even though he doesn't have a case.
Well, the only thing that I see here is he wants to keep this warm, warm ship for everyone to smell and talk about until one of these other two cases, the January 6th case in Washington and the Georgia case about being involved in declaring he was the winner. Because if one of those gets lifted, meaning they get some charge, then he will draw on that charge to use in his case as well. But now with what he's done, it leaves every attorney general of any state or group of attorney generals of any states to charge the Bidens, or they can charge the Obamas. I mean,
this may come back to bite them. Yeah,
the Clintons. There's so much evidence out there, and they don't have Trump admitting to committing a crime on tape, but they got Biden doing it.
Yeah, well, maybe Comey didn't want to prosecute Clinton, but maybe somebody else will.
Well, that's the problem with this precedent that it's the same thing in the Senate. The way the Democrats set precedent with regards to deciding on it, voting for an associate justice for the Supreme Court in an election year. Yeah, they're the one who set the precedent that it was okay to do it.
Yeah, you're right. Well, the other thing we got to talk about, polls and campaign fundraising. Since the indictment, Trump's raised $10 million for his campaign. I think it was 8 million yesterday. It's 10 million today. He has dropped a little bit in the polls. Last week I looked, it was 52% for him over DeSantis, and this week it was 42. But he's still well ahead of everybody else in there by every poll that's out there.
So, every measure. But the other interesting aspect of that announcement of the money they raised is 40% of the people that gave never have given to him before. So
that'd be kind of interesting.
That's pretty significant. Yeah, that's significant to me.
Well, I think some people are seeing this. They may not vote for him, but I think a lot of people are seeing this as kind of a kangaroo court railroading, lynch mob mentality on the left, that we're going to get this guy no matter what. No matter how we have to do it. If we got to plant evidence in Mar-a-Lago, well, we're going to get it done somehow.
Well, it's worse than Netanyahu's situation in Israel.
Yeah,
he is the prime minister, but he's still under a case of corruption because he was given a box of cigars and a bottle of brandy. Literally, that's what his issue's about. So again, you see two of the best or most successful democracies in the world in this situation, and you shake your head. It's one of these things that's like, who's not paying attention?
Yeah, for sure. Well, the other thing, Trump's got 2 or 3 other situations he's going to have to go through. Georgia, they're accusing him of trying to fix the vote in Georgia. that may or may not go somewhere. They've got him on the documents, and having those, although Biden had some, Obama might have some, and who knows who else has some. But
well, that becomes a whole nother issue. How do you charge one and not the other, or others?
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's that document thing. I think is going to be a red herring because you could just point to, well, I didn't see a raid on Biden's garage. I didn't see a raid on, Clinton, Hillary, or anybody else. What's the deal here? Why is his documents critical and Biden's aren't?
Well, it's hard for people to understand that adults are playing musical chairs.
Well, yeah, and that's true.
So, it's like every time this guy Bragg opens his mouth, everybody has to sit down, and there's one less chair. Mm-hmm. So clearly, there's ultimately a confusion. But how do people talk about this? I mean, it's too revolting. It's not complex. It's not that there's a crime that he committed that you can look at and say, oh my gosh, they found the body in a barrel buried under one of his buildings. It's one of these things where you're sitting back and you're trying to make a determination by what you read and see, and there's not enough there to be able to do that. So how can commentators or people like you and I really have a conversation about it, other than to say there's something wrong?
That's for sure. Yeah, absolutely right. So, well, Linda thinks the country is becoming a banana republic. Thank you, Linda, for that comment. And there's certainly a lot of merit to what Linda's thinking, Shane. This normally happens in, dictator type countries.
Well, certainly third world countries ruled by an elitist minority that manages to convince a majority to vote for them. And this is what is so difficult, is that the Democrats, like the Bragg, think that he figures I can get any jury to convict anyone involved with the Trumps. So
that's what he thinks.
That's what he thinks. And he may be right. I mean, Trump only got 12% of votes in Manhattan.
80% were against him. So
88% voted against him. So that's
how
the
do
jury.
How do you get a fair trial? How do you get a fair trial there?
You can't. That becomes the whole issue, doesn't it?
That's what I'm. That's what I'm thinking. So it's not a good thing there. So
well, you can't hope that in being able to pick a jury that maybe one or two people, if not sensible, might be, at least supportive of Trump.
Well, it isn't a matter of being supportive. It's a matter of, if you're on a jury, you look at the evidence, and if the evidence isn't there, you find the person not guilty of whatever crime it is. The problem is, Shane, you got 34 counts here that's going to be brought against him. Any one of them will give him 4 years if the judge wants to do it.
They have to strap it to something for that, to make it a federal crime. They can't. Right now, they're just misdemeanors under state law. We've listened to this for a whole week from every lawyer on every.
You don't seem to get it, do you?
No, I don't. I don't get it.
Bragg is bringing these as felonies.
It's not that I didn't hear you.
He's bringing them as felonies. Misdemeanors has nothing to do with it.
Okay. Well, you're not getting me and what people on TV and lawyers and experts are all saying.
Well, I know what they're saying. Yeah.
Time has run out. They're all misdemeanors. None of this makes any sense. And they've issued a warrant without telling us what the crime is, and he's going to tell us at some other point. So how could they arrest him? How could they arrest him without a charge?
Apparently they have a charge, so that's the point. I mean, he gave himself up to go to court. If there's no crime and no charge.
Well, that's why they didn't release this to the public, because there's probably a good chance that if his lawyers had taken a look at this, he might have stayed in Florida and said, "Well, as soon as you charge me, I'll come to New York." Yeah. But right now, there's no charge. And
Well,
so, you know,
under discovery, the prosecution would have to give what they have to the defense.
well, that's they're supposed to, but they don't
Well,
have
yeah.
anything to give him because
Yeah.
they're not charging him with a crime.
Well,
So it's like you're hanging monkeys. Remember
yeah,
as kids we got that game with hanging monkeys. You know.
yeah, that's right. Well, Bragg thinks he has a felony. The judge thinks he has a felony, or otherwise he would have just dismissed it when he heard the allegations or the 34 charges in the indictment. If it wasn't a real deal, or the judge is just prejudiced.
Well, he is. We know that.
Well, we know he is, but
That's a given,
still,
yeah.
you know. So anyway,
All right.
we have something, and we won't know what it is until there's an actual trial, which may be in
Well, you can't
December,
have a trial.
January, or whatever.
You can't have a trial till there's something that he's done, a law that's been broken.
Well, they're
How
going
do
to
you have a trial without a law broken?
Well, the Bragg went to court and said these laws have been broken. The judge agreed, and they're going to have a trial sometime in either December or January.
Okay, we'll see.
That's what
That's
happened.
where we're at. Yep, back around
Yeah.
the same circle for half an hour.
So there's a crime somewhere, according to Bragg, anyway.
Yeah, well,
And we'll see what the judge's final decision is. So, all right, let me remind everybody we are on radio every Saturday, 8 to 11 Mountain Time. Listen live at KMMSAM.com. Click listen now. No sign up, nothing to join, no email needed. You can call us, you can text us. It's a wonderful thing. It's a free country for now. So you have that option. Also, our past shows are also at KMMSAM.com. Just click on Tom and Shane's podcast. You get our audio radio shows. You get our videos on here. And it's a wonderful experience. You'll enjoy it. Trust me.
that's
And I
true.
think I mentioned, Shane, we got a bunch of new subscribers. We're just 6 away from 500. So we hope if you're watching, subscribe. It's down in the lower right-hand corner of the video or underneath, and ring the notification bell. You'll always be notified when we're on. Like us, leave a comment. Let us know the kind of programming you'd like to see us do. And not only that, we're on every Tuesday and Thursday, 5 p.m. Mountain Time. So you want to be involved in that for sure.
It's a wonderful life.
Amen to that. So, all right. Thanks for all the listeners. Thanks for all the viewers. We really appreciate you guys very much. And thanks so much for watching. And we will see you Thursday, 5 p.m. Mountain Time. Bye for now.